Now the next finish that you brought along with us, what is this one?
Well, this is like, I call it a frottage,
Okay.
and it's a real nice, pretty finish.
There's lots of different ways of doing this. We've seen a couple different ways
You
of
can
doing
do
this,
it
right?
with newspaper. Really, frottage just means that you press something in and then you take it back out.
Okay.
And that's sort of what I'll be doing with one of these other tools later on. And again, these are all rolled-on tools, very easy, very fast to do, very user-friendly.
Okay, so what is our first step in create? Oh, I love the metallic shimmer to that too. It's
Right,
really pretty.
I'm big on metallics.
Metallics are huge right now.
They are.
Everybody's been telling me about
Oh,
them.
I love them.
Okay, so what is our first step?
Well, the first step was the khaki Aquabond base
Great
color.
color too.
I like it, and I use it a lot on my base colors. It's a standard color. Just buy it and
Good
roll it on your
neutral.
wall. That's a nice neutral color. So then what I want to do is I want to use a combination this time of 3 different colors, and I'm going to brush them onto the surface in sort of like a slip-slap motion. And I would be working on my wall space if I were doing that in an area that was about 2 foot by 2 foot doing this.
Okay.
So I don't want to really create a checkerboard per se. I just want to sort of blend these colors all together at the same time. They're interblending themselves. And then I'm going to take a roller in a second and I'll roll over the top of it and it'll break up that pattern.
Okay, now I just want to show one thing to everybody
Sure.
at home. The colors that you have selected here for your glazes, you have got 3 completely different colors.
That's correct.
I mean, you really have an array of colors here, but we're going to combine all 3 of these together and coat them up to create our final finish. How do you even decide that the 3 of these are going to go together and create that?
Well, that's color theory, and honestly, that's not something that you learn
I mean,
about
it's like
that.
a science, though,
Yes,
isn't
it is. And there's tons of books out there that you can learn from. And some people have a natural-born color eye. Some people are
Right.
fortunate and they're born that way. Other people have to study, and learn color theory. But it's just something that you do. And I went to a school for art, and
Right.
I've done art all my life. And I grew up with, watching my mom do art at the kitchen table. So through all of those things, you just learn how to do it eventually. What makes one color go well with another. And it really is important in faux finishes.
It is. I mean, certain colors complement, some colors take away from each other.
Exactly.
We're going to have to do that next season. I need to learn that stuff.
I teach color theory class.
Oh, good. Well, you can do that next year.
That's right. Now, this is a loose bag
Okay.
roller. And this is the way it comes. My partner, Dave, one time, I had the roller like this, and he rips the plastic off, and I said, "What are you doing? That's the way it's supposed to be. So don't take this part off."
Thinking you had it covered.
Right.
Okay.
Right. He thought it was protecting the roller. And then you just roll it over the top. And this is similar to a treatment that they call smooshing in decorative painting, where you take plastic and you lay it, crumple it up and lay
Right.
it on and peel it off.
But when you do that with plastic, though, don't you have to get a new piece of plastic every time you go to the wall?
Yes, and it's
But
super
you're not doing that.
messy. Yeah, with that smooshing, you end up you're like wrapped in paint yourself by the time you're done because it's such a mess. This, if it gets a little dirty, you off roll it onto a cloth or
So you're
a
not
rag.
really cleaning the surface, you're just getting
Yeah.
some of the excess paint.
Right. I don't want it to be so
Oh, you can
saturated
tell
that it
there's a
won't pick it
difference.
up. But you can still see now what it's done is it's kept all these color purity as you see. I mean, so everywhere I can still see all 3 of my colors. I didn't blend them to become mud or one color. I wanted to be able to have a discernible area, and you can see even here these areas where there's no paint. If there's enough on your roller, sometimes you can just roll it and it offloads itself. So that's
Okay.
another way that if you're doing your project piece, whatever it may be, if this gets real saturated, offload a little bit on the area that you're working into.
Can you work this too much? I mean, can you overwork this technique?
It's art, in all honesty. You probably could, but you may end up having something that you like even better. So, I mean, I can't tell you how many times, Sloan, that I've done something and I think it's right and I make a mistake and then I work with that and it becomes something even more gorgeous than what I thought I was going to do.
Now, because you have the glaze in here, though, how much flexibility time are we going to have?
Tons of working time.
I mean, so say, okay, we're done. We step away from the
You want
table.
to try it? Go ahead.
We take, step back, take a look, and then go like, I'm really not crazy about that corner.
Right.
Oh, I really don't like that spot
Right.
on the wall. How much time do we really have to play to say, like, okay, I want to work that more. I don't like the way this has turned out. Let me keep doing it and get to where I'm comfortable and where I'm happy with it. How long of a time do we have?
The more glaze you put into your paint mix, the longer your open time remains. So if I do a 4-to-1 mix, I might average 10 to 20 minutes that I can fuss with it.
Okay.
You know, if I do an 8-to-1 mix, I might have a half hour or longer. You know, so it all depends on your mixture. The more you blend it, you can see the more muted the colors
Right,
become.
I've lost my lines here almost.
That's okay. Now let's go to the next step, though.
Okay.
And this one, I want to now end up, I have a material called Gold Palette Art, and I'm going to brush it onto
That's beautiful.
this floppy chamois roller.
Okay.
You can kind of see this. Actually, I'm going to end up loading into that tray in a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. And then what I'm doing is sort of priming or loading up my roller for the first time. After I really get going on this, I don't have to do this, or I could even have it into a paint tray and roll it into a paint tray. I don't need a lot of this material on this roller, though. I only need a little bit to do what I need. So now I'm going to take this, I'm just going to offload it just a second, and I'll just draw it lightly across here. And again, this is a metallic again.
Now, are you just going? You're just going in all different directions.
I'm going in all different. That's right. You've done this before.
No, I haven't. I'm just watching.
No, I am. I'm going in all different directions, and the intent is to have no pattern.
Okay.
So sort of an amorphic pattern.
Okay.
And I would take that then and go everywhere around the room with that.
Okay. One last question about it though. When you were working in all different angles, but do you start from like the center and work your way out, or
Usually
can
I
you
start-
go a little here, a little down there,
You
a
could
little
go
here?
anywhere with this because it's a positive application, but I normally start in my top left-hand corner
Okay.
and work down around the room.
Okay.
And now we have
This
one,
is so floppy.
therefore the name. We have one
Exactly.
last step,
Okay.
and I need to use,
Do we need me to get rid of this one?
yep,
Okay,
if you
we're
put that
down,
off to the side. We have a material called Aqua Cream, which is a clear material, and we
Okay.
can put color into it, like aqua color. And I'm just going to shoot in a little bit of black, a little bit of French red, and a little bit of a bronze color.
Now those colors, they come in lots of different colors, right?
Oh man, there must be
The color.
40 colors or more. And what I want to do is just get a little darker glaze on here. And then I'll just brush that on, and I'll pat it off, and it softens down that metallic look.
Okay, let's take one last look. So that's it. You would leave that coat in the rope.
And then I just pat it off
Rub
real
it.
quick. Right. And you can see it softens it out.
Okay, this is what it's going to look like when it's dry. Absolutely wonderful. Once again, Gary Lord, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, if you would like more information on Gary, or if you'd like his books or his videos, check out our website at the end of the program, and we'll lead you to Gary.